So now that we have our assembly finished, what we want to do is we want to create an exploded view of that. To create an exploded view of an assembly, first we're going to save our assembly. Okay, we're going to save it to that same folder. So box. So I'm going to save it as the box assembly. Okay, so we've got our box assembly here, and now I'm going to open up a new folder, a new part again, except I'm going to open up down here what's called a presentation. I'm going to do a standard millimeter presentation. So there we go. We're going to open that up. Here is now our standard presentation workspace. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click Create View, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to search for that assembly. There's my box assembly. So I'm going to double click and hit OK, and it's going to place that box assembly in my workspace. And as we've seen with the other project we had, we can now take and break these pieces apart using this Tweak Components command. So I'm going to select Tweak Components. The first thing it's wanting me to select is direction. I'm going to select the top surface here, and it's going to then select a direction that is perpendicular to that top surface, so in the Z direction. Now it's asking me the component that I want to tweak. I want to tweak this top handle. Okay. Now that I have that selected, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to type in how many units I want it to be tweaked. So I'm going to type in 10 and hit that and see what happens. So that brought it out 10. Okay. I'm going to bring it out a little more. I'm going to bring it out 15. Okay. So that I've stretched that out, I've tweaked that, I've brought that out. And then I'm going to close. I'm going to go back in, I'm going to tweak component again. I'm going to select that same surface, but now I'm going to tweak this top box. And I'm going to select a little less than 15. I'm going to do 7.5. It's half of 15. Hit enter so that it's going to bring that up as well. Okay. So now it has taken all three parts and expanded them out so that I have an exploded view of our assembly. I have an exploded view of the assembly. So that was as quick as it is here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this as box exploded. Okay, so save that. I will replace that one and click OK here. So we've saved this now as a presentation. Now that we have a presentation that is exploded, this is the assembly, the exploded presentation that we want to put in a drawing. So now I'm going to go in and do a new drawing. So down here in the drawing, what we've been doing is ANSI millimeter IDWs. So I'm going to open up a drawing file. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back to an A size drawing. So edit sheet, size A, and click OK. So that's the size sheet that I want to work with. Now I'm going to bring in my base view. Okay, I'm going to bring in a base view. It's kind of nice, it already has that selected, but if you needed to go find it, you would click on this folder search. Here is my box presentation. Sometimes it'll only look for parts or assemblies. So if you come in here, okay, you want to select presentation files, IPN, and then it'll find the box exploded. That's what we want. And we want, so see how it's doing a front view? What if I do an ISO top right? It'll look like that. ISO top left, it'll look like that. ISO bottom left, it'll look like that. ISO bottom right, it looks like that. I think the ISO top left looks the best. Okay, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to place it right there in my drawing. Right click and OK. Now I'm going to move my drawing because I know that over here I'm going to have my parts list. So I've got my exploded view of my assembly now in my drawing. So what I'm going to do now, okay, is I am going to annotate and I'm going to place balloons on this assembly, this presentation piece. So I'm going to select balloons and I want to do auto balloon. Okay, it's first saying select view set. Well, that means this view set, everything in this assembly right here, is what I want to balloon. It now moved down to add or remove components. I want to balloon the handle, I want to balloon the box top, and I want to balloon the box bottom. So I've selected all three. Okay. Now select placement. I want them to be horizontal. Actually, I want them to be around. Okay. But I'm going to do a style override. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to do the double stacked balloon, circular with 2 entries. Okay, circular with 2 entries. Okay, and now, okay, it's still asking me to select placement. I'm just going to click to select placement, and it now allows me to apply it, or hit OK. Now I can cancel, and I've got my balloons. Once my balloons are in, I can come in and mess around with it, because sometimes it doesn't do good placing. I can grab the tip here, and I'll have it come right there instead. Actually, I can do that real quick. I'm going to grab the tip, have it come here. I'm going to bring this one a little over here. I'm going to bring this one out over here. I don't like the tip. I'm going to bring it to that side. So there we go. We've ballooned everything. Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And now the last thing I want to do is insert a parts list. So under tables, here is a parts list. I need to select the view that I want to create a part list of. That's this view here. And then I'm going to select OK. It'll allow me to bring this table out. I'm going to place it right in that corner, and it auto-populates the fields in the table. Item number, quantity of each, and the part name. So now you have your exploded view with balloons and a parts list. There is one other thing that I wanted that is in what I gave you. Is I also inserted another, I believe I inserted another image in this. The assembly, not exploded, right? So what I want to do is I want to come back in here. I want to go back and look for assembly files. There's my box assembly. That's what I'm going to open. And I'm going to do an ISO top right view. And I'm going to place that in there. Okay. Right click, OK. Now, what I want to do with this actually is I want to go back in and I want to edit the view. Okay, I want to change the view of this to a shaded, this option right down here, and I'm going to click OK. What that does is it turns it into a shaded view where you can see the texture, so that instead of a lined drawing like everything else, now you have a good picture of what everything's going to look like when you're done. So you have your exploded view with balloons and parts list, and then also it assembled everything put together and in a shaded view rather than a lined view. And so there's your last drawing to submit for this project.